On behalf of my cameraman and producer, Chris Knowles, it's been a pleasure bringing you highlights of Barry Tarry Homecoming of the Regatta 35th edition, and we're looking forward to 2019.
I always said that he was going to kill her the way he beats on her. But I never thought that this day would actually happen. So I prayed to God to deliver her, to deliver them. Isn't that all I could do? What would you have done?
Let's talk. Call the Bahamas Crisis Center's free 24-hour hotline at 328-0922. Sometimes a conversation can change a life.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up first at 6, court backlog. The Attorney General addressing the current backlog of cases in the judicial system. Post office repairs. We've got an update on building to house the post office. And special anniversary. A popular gospel group celebrating a significant milestone. Attempts are underway to address the backlog of cases in the judicial system. However, he says the Bahamas stands out as a jurisdiction known for its timely legal hearings.
Certainly on the civil side, there tends to be a greater, delay in terms of being able to schedule and obtain dates. But on the criminal side, the Bahamas is a leader in the region in terms of the speed with which criminal matters are dealt with. The average wait period is no more than 2 years. In major countries in the Caribbean region, you're waiting 10 years for a trial. And you're waiting that 10 years for trial in jail. But we have a very, responsive and constitutional approach towards these matters. And no person could be held in jail for those sorts of periods, 10 years, lawfully, awaiting trial.
The Cabinet Office announcing that a state funeral will be held for Chief Justice, the late Stephen Isaacs, this Friday, September 7th, at Christ Church Cathedral, beginning at 11 a.m. His body will lie in state in the Supreme Court for public viewing from noon Thursday until funeral time. The Cabinet Office further advises that the Bahamas will be in a state of mourning until after the state funeral. All national flags will be flown at half-staff during this period. Also, to mark the passing of the late Chief Justice, the Supreme Court closed at 1 o'clock today, and the Magistrates Court closed at 3 p.m. today. The Magistrates Courts will close at 1 p.m. tomorrow, and all courts will be closed on Friday. The Cabinet Office also announcing that the taking of photographs will only be allowed outside of the Supreme Court and at the Cathedral until the funeral service begins. Now to labor news. First at 6, the hiring of foreign workers where Bahamians are skilled to do the job at the Point Hotel downtown Nassau has been an issue for members of the Bahamas Contractors Association. Well, it seems that issue may be rectified. Minister of Labor, Senator the Honorable Dion Fowlkes, says about a month ago, his team received several reports from the management of the Point about a 100% increase in the Bahamian workforce at that $1 million property.
One from our investigators that showed an increase in the Bahamian composition of workers at the Point. And we also received a report from the management at the Point that showed a much larger increase of Bahamian workers. I spoke to the key persons there, and we have agreed to do a joint exercise, which we did yesterday morning. Mr. Pinder, the Director of Labor, personally went on site along with a group of investigators to ascertain exactly what the facts are.
The Minister of Labor added that he's concerned about reports that employees at the Point are reportedly being reclassified to fill other positions.
We want to make sure that non-Bahamians who are at the site are only doing jobs that Bahamians are not qualified to do or not available to do. And that is why the Director of Labor went yesterday morning. I do not want to preempt his report, but it was a personal visit that he made.
While there are a number of exciting plans at the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, the minister responsible, the Honorable Michael Pintard, says right now the main focus of his ministry is to ensure that all departments are working in tandem with each other to reduce duplication of services. To ensure this, the ministry's senior team has been meeting with the boards responsible for the Bahamas Agricultural and Marine Science Institute and the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation.
We have a common challenge, and the common challenge again is to, 1, increase food security, 2, to substitute the many non-food related items that we are presently importing that we have the ability as a country to produce. And so we are seeking to make sure that we do not work in silos. In addition, we have to work in tandem with other ministries. Naturally, we have to work with the Ministry of Tourism. We have 6 million visitors that come to this country. And the reality is, if we are producing the items that they consume, we will be reducing the economic leakage where millions of dollars are going out of the country on a regular basis, purchasing the very things that our tourists consume.
Minister Pintard also pointed out that the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources is working to build the capacity of farmers and fishermen by providing access to funding.
BAIC is going to play a pivotal role in leading that charge, where we can put in the same room entrepreneurs in the fisheries or the marine resources sector, as well as farmers, putting them in the very same role as funders. Toward that end, we're going to be making the rounds to the Venture Capital Fund, the Bahamas Development Bank, the commercial banking institutions, and we are looking internationally at non-governmental organizations, intergovernmental organizations that have resources and wish to invest in this sector.
Now to news from the courts. 54-year-old Harrison Smith of Kemps Bay, South Andros, 30-year-old Leo Jones of number 70 Old Cedar Street in Yellow Elder Gardens, 33-year-old Demetrius McPhee of Joe Farrington Road, and 45-year-old Jeffrey Miller of Kenwood Street appeared in the magistrate's court today on drug charges. The men were arraigned before Assistant Chief Magistrate Shabusala Swain with conspiracy to possess dangerous drugs with the intent to supply and possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply. Police reported that on September 2nd, shortly after 1 a.m., drug enforcement and marine support officers acting on information while in waters 1 mile south of Coral Harbor intercepted a white 20-foot Boston whaler boat with 4 Bahamian men on board. Officers searched the vessel and recovered 12 croaker sacks with 390 pounds of suspected marijuana. The drugs have a street value of $390,000. The men pleaded not guilty to those charges. 3 American men ages 37, 42, and 46 years old were arrested yesterday after they failed to declare a large sum of U.S. currency. Authorities say it was shortly after 4 p.m. when the trio presented themselves to a U.S. Border Control officer at Lyndon Pinley International Airport and failed to declare the true amount of currency in their possession. The officer searched the men and recovered $51,355 in cash. The men were expected to be formally charged in the magistrate's court today. We can also tell you that police are reporting that shortly after 11 o'clock last night, a man and woman were walking on East Bay Street near to Fowler Street when they were approached by 2 men, one armed with a firearm, who robbed them of cash and jewelry before running away. A short time later, police arrested an adult male of Kemp Road in connection with this incident. And police also thanking the public for the information that led to the arrest of armed robbery suspect Bernard Taylor, also known as Bats, who was wanted for questioning in connection with a number of recent armed robberies. He has been captured. Mobile Division officers arrested Taylor without incident while in Ridgeland Park around 6 o'clock yesterday evening. Still to come first at 6, Rotarians welcoming one of their own back home. That story and more when First at 6 returns on the next side of the break.
You can count on me. Just call me and I'll come running. No matter the
I got into comedy from the day I was born, and I look up and I saw who my parents was. I know my life is gonna be interesting.
The Bahamian people inspire me, like 100%. I think the keys of the success to the band Visage has been the ability to stay relevant for the many years that the band has been around.
Technology, it keeps me connected.
What technology have done for me is priceless.
I don't know how I would be able to survive without it.
If I would describe BTC into one word, I would say innovative.
Family all around.
Communications lifeblood of the Bahamas.
Get ready. Commonwealth Bank wants to make this your best school year ever. Get the loan you need at a special discount. Cash for tuition and supplies, the best education, the best memories, and you want to know the best part? You could win a trip for 4. So don't wait. The discount ends soon. Talk to us today about your best school year ever loan. Approval is fast and easy. Conditions apply.
Summer is here, and it's the time of year we love getting together with family and friends. And nothing shows your love more than one of KFC's new buckets. KFC's Bucket Love is all about our freshly prepared chicken, delicious side, and hot buttery biscuits starting at just $20. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
This portion of the news brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Work on the new post office building will begin in another 2 months. This is according to Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Anthony Newbold. It was announced earlier this year that the General Post Office on East Hill Street will be relocated, moving from East Hill Street to Gladstone Road in the Old Phil's Food Services Building. This latest update was given by the Press Secretary at his weekly press conference yesterday.
The Ministry of Works, who has carriage of this, they're presently preparing construction drawings for that building. They're also awaiting the structural engineer's report on that building. And then once that's done, the quantity surveyors will have a look at it. At that point, you're talking about numbers, actual numbers. And the process as it is now, as it's going now, could run into, this is September, could run into November before you actually see anything physically happening with that building. But that's the process right now. They're preparing construction drawings, structural engineers will have a look at the building, and then the quantity surveyors have to look at it and put some numbers to it before we get to actual signing a contract for somebody to do something with it.
President of Rotary International and founding member of the Rotary Club of New Providence, Dr. Barry Racine, returned to his old club during a short visit Tuesday night. Racine, who has assumed his role as president on July 1st, has had a busy travel schedule, but was on hand as the club welcomed 3 new members into the organization in an induction at the Poop Club West. Members from other clubs were also present for an address from Racine, who says he hopes to leave his mark during his tenure.
It's an incredible experience to have an opportunity to go to other countries of the world and spend time meeting Rotarians, seeing the projects they do, seeing the change they're making that's making our world a better place. So it truly is very inspiring for me. I'm talking a lot about change. I'm talking a lot about the need to increase our gender diversity. Right now we're only 22% female. We need to increase that number. There's a lot of good women out there who should be a part of Rotary. So we're really opening the door to make sure that can happen. We're also working very hard as one of the top priorities to bring young professionals engaged in what Rotary does. They really want to do service. We need to change some of our old traditions so we're more relevant to the younger people.
Rotary Club of New Providence President Valentino Hamilton says Rotary's most important priority is to recruit new young members who can bring new ideas. He says the evening at the Poop Deck out west was special because the club was able to host its international president.
Barry Rassin is the first ever Bahamian president of Rotary International and also the first president from our district, which is District 7020, which is comprised of several countries in the Caribbean. So tonight was very historic to see President Rassin take time from his busy travel from all over the world to come back home to the Bahamas, to Rotary Club of New Providence, a club that he helped charted in 1988. And so his theme is Be the Inspiration, and we certainly were inspired by Rotary International President Rassin's presentation tonight.
The U.S. Embassy here in Nassau has announced that Paul Frazier Jr., founder and president of Gravitas Bahamas, Regina Smith, founding and managing director of Firehouse Spice Company, and founder of Wing Ding Carryout, LaTravlia Trey Williams, have been selected to participate in the Young Leaders of the Americas initiative. The program will assemble 250 business and social entrepreneurs from Latin America and the Caribbean to the United States later this month to collaborate with counterparts in businesses and organizations in 20 cities across the United States. Through this exchange program, fellows will advance their entrepreneurial ventures and build leadership skills to effectively contribute to social and economic development in their communities. The YLAI Professional Fellows Program begins September 20th in Detroit, Michigan, followed by 4-week fellowships throughout the United States. The program concludes with a closing forum in October in Washington, D.C., which will be focused on leadership and skills development training. Well, they're a staple in Bahamian music, culture, and heritage, and celebrating a major milestone this year. And they've started off the festivities with a visit to the Governor General. C.S. Gadley tells us more.
One by one, members of the Region Bells greeted Governor General, Her Excellency, the Most Honorable Dame Marguerite Pinling, during a courtesy call at Government House Wednesday morning. It was an exciting time for the family-based gospel group, who is celebrating its 70th anniversary. Following that visit, Secretary Abraham Stubbs reveals what has kept them going for this long.
Growing up as children, we always were told, if you give somebody something and you take it back, what do you get? Hog style. The good Lord gave us gifts, and we are not expecting to get any hog style. You know, we're going to use it for His honor and for His glory. It is a gospel group. If you listen to any of our songs, it's all very Bible-based and filled with messages for everybody. Almost every story in the Bible you can mention, we have a song to match it, to go with it. And so these that keep just being inspired to write songs are things that keep you going.
Over the years, their songs have inspired many and has become a staple of Bahamian culture. Recognizing groups like the Region Bells is what members of the National Heroes Committee have been advocating for the past 25 years, and that is to celebrate our own. Committee member Fred Munnings is happy that the day has finally come for them, and he believes it is well deserved.
We wanted to highlight the contribution that groups like this one would have made to the development of our country. They are our historians. They hold the history of our country. And as you have heard, for the past 70 years, continuously, this group have been perpetuating what we think is the only original art form in music in the Bahamas, which is the rhyming spirituals, according to the late Clement Bethel. It is authentically Bahamian, and as they have said, most of the material is based in biblical stories and Christian principles.
Before leaving Government House, the Region Bells gave Dame Marguerite Pinling a special treat.
Oh Lord, have mercy, was trouble in this land. I see that beautiful island of sunshine, trouble in this land. God, and oh Lord, have mercy.
But the group is showing no signs of slowing down as they prepare to welcome its 4th generation of members to the group in time for next month's concert that will be held as part of National Heroes Day festivities. C.S. Scatterly, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Sieska. Well, that does it for National News First at 6. Stay with us. Jonathan Benson is next with sports.
That portion of the news was brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, the leader in personal banking services.
Whether you want to get going in a new car, to relax at home while you pay bills on your mobile banking app, to get the best rewards with your credit card, or to get a sure start on your little one's future, Whether you want a quick response on your loan or just a range of services that keep your business running smoothly, you want banking that fits your life. CIBC First Caribbean. Banking that fits your life.
At Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center, we provide imaging services to meet all your family's needs. Same goes for imaging at Grosvenor. We're the imaging experts. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiology specialist can consult your doctor and conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Results are ready within 24 hours. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
You can count on me. Just call me and I'll come running. No matter the
I got into comedy from the day I was born, and I look up and I saw who my parents was. I know my life is gonna be interesting.
The Bahamian people inspire me, like 100%.
I think the keys of the success to the band Visage has been the ability to stay relevant for the many years that the band has been around.
Technology, it keeps me connected.
What technology have done for me is priceless.
I don't know how I would be able to survive without it.
If I would describe BTC into one word, I would say innovative.
Family all around.
Communications lifeblood of the Bahamas.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. Our men's national soccer team left town today ahead of their opener in the newly formed CONCACAF Nations League. It consists of some 41 teams divided into 3 different sections, with the champion to be crowned at the end of each edition. The tournament will also determine which national teams qualify for the CONCACAF Gold Cup and will feature promotion and relegation rounds, while also affecting world and regional rankings. The Bahamas will be given its trek on Friday against Belize, and while there is some national team experience on the team, it consists mostly of players who will compete at this level for the first time.
We have about 9 players that really under age 19 or under. We have a few veteran players that we threw inside there, the likes of, like I said, Valen Bodie, who's our #1 goalkeeper, Dwayne Benaby, who's senior midfielder, along with Leslie Simflow, who needs no introduction. That's the only professional we bring to the table. And we have another forward that's coming in, Mr. Terry Delancey. So we look forward to good things.
Mother Nature finally cooperating last night as the New Providence Softball Association finally able to resume with its best-of-5 first-round playoffs. In the men's feature game, the Commander Security Truckers completed the sweep of the BTC Warriors with a 7-3 victory. They now await the winner of the CNS Hitmen and the Chances Mighty Mids. The Hitmen up 1-0 in that series. Game 2 will be played tonight. In the ladies' opener last night, BTC jumping out to an early lead on the Sunshine Auto Wildcats, only to see the Cats claw their way back into the ballgame, scoring in bunches late in the ballgame. Cats win Game 3 13-7. They take a 2-1 series lead. As for the other half of the ladies' bracket, they will also try and get that in tonight. The Platinum Pool Sharks up 1-0 on the Johnson Truckers. From the minor league baseball diamond yesterday, Deshaun Knowles 1 for 4 runs scored as Orem lost to Grand Junction 3-2. Christian Robinson going 1 for 3, helping Missoula edge Helena 3-2. Tonight, 3 Bahamians will be in playoff action. Chavez Young and Lansing hosting Bowling Green in Game 1 of the Midwest League's Eastern Division best-of-3 semifinals. Jazz Chisholm and Visalia, they play at Stockton in Game 1 of the California League's North Division best-of-5 championship series. As for Lucius Fox and Montgomery, they play at Jackson in Game 1 of the Southern League's best-of-5 North Division series. The past few nights, we heard from men's basketball, women's volleyball, judo, and men's soccer. As the University of the Bahamas hosted its media day, the Mingos will also take part in track and field, and assistant coach Ed Leroux can't wait for the season to start, with virtually the entire team returning.
We didn't add any track athletes because, like I said, surprisingly, they did so well. So we wanted to give them, the ones that are here, more. So for the track side, we didn't add any addition. And because, we're fairly new, most of them are young, they're freshmen, so they have a lot more years, 2 to 3 more years with us. So there wasn't a need per se for the track side. Definitely going forward, we want to do a little more on the jump side and the field side, the throwing side. So, but we have a solid team right now.
Ken Mullings was one of the breakout athletes for UB Track and Field last season. He spoke about how he balances being a student athlete.
I set a schedule, basically. Before I set my classes, I make sure it doesn't collide with the training that coach set for us during the off-season. And I basically stick with it. Like our 6 o'clock practices, I don't set no classes for 8. I like to put space between each so I have time to study, stop time to train, and have time to rest.
That is your first look at sports. Don't go anywhere. First at 6 is back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
No matter what your goals are in life, you have to start somewhere. It all begins with Leno. Leno, bridging possibilities. Call us at 396-3225 or email info@lenobahamas.com.
The most important thing I want to say is that this is a Bahamian initiative. All of these things, every app we've discussed here, we designed, created, conceived of here within this team. We have a brilliant software technologist consultant who works with us. She is also Bahamian. And this thought that you have to go overseas or somebody has to come and drop something, we've constructed all of this right here on site in Alive at Holy Cross.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. It's a time of year when people, health experts, and caregivers make work even harder to raise awareness about prostate cancer and to educate those at risk. Here at home, the number of men diagnosed daily is startling.
Even if you're not experiencing any symptoms, if you're over the age of 40, go and get tested anyhow.
Join ZNS TV 13 as we bring you It's Not a Death Sentence, Living with Hope on Monday, September 17th at 8 p.m.
In regional news, Prime Minister of Barbados Mia Mottley assured that heads of governments of the Caribbean community were serious about advancing the CARICOM single market and economy while identifying transportation, communication, and hassle-free travel as areas of urgent attention. Prime Minister Mottley, who has lead responsibility within CARICOM's quasi-cabinet for the creation of the CSME, made those comments as she delivered remarks at the opening of the Caribbean Community's 6th special meeting of the Council for Finance and Planning in Barbados today. Trinidad and Tobago High Court Judge Kevin Ramcharan appeared in the magistrate's court yesterday accused of driving under the influence of alcohol 3 months ago. He pleaded not guilty to the charge and was ordered to return to court on October 18th for a case management hearing. Yesterday was the third court appearance for Ramcharan, but the first time he was asked to enter a plea. And Jamaica's narcotics police is reporting the seizure of $3.2 million worth of compressed ganja in Milk River, Clarendon on Tuesday. They say the approximately 800 pounds of ganja was recovered during a police military operation in the Farquharson Beach area. According to the Jamaican police, 19 knitted bags containing 154 parcels of compressed ganja were found in mangroves. 14 drums of fuel was also found.
Time now for weather.
In
our first look at weather, Gordon has moved inland over Louisiana, now a tropical depression. And then we have this mid-upper level trough over the southeast Bahamas. That's firing up some showers and thunderstorms. And then, of course, there is Florence out there in the mid-Atlantic heading towards Bermuda. It's now a very dangerous, powerful Category 4 hurricane moving towards the northwest at about 13 miles per hour. And then we have this very strong tropical wave a couple hundred miles to the south-southwest of the Cape Verde Island that has a good potential of becoming a tropical cyclone within the next couple of days. Outside of our studios, partly sunny skies, temperature 88 degrees, your relative humidity at 62%, easterly winds at 14 miles per hour, your barometric pressure 1,016 millibars, is 29.97 inches, and it is steady. That's going to do it for your first look at weather at 6. Stay tuned, more weather is still to come.
Thanks so much, Basil. That does it for First at 6. It's time now for a check on stories making news around the northern Bahamas.
Minister optimistic about the development of a new niche market. Uniform assistance still available for those in need. And another tragedy at the Jack Hayward High School.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all. I'm Shoshina Wolf-Arkeson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, there is a new trend developing in the tourism industry, and officials believe that the country can benefit significantly from this shift. While they admit that monitoring this emerging sector may be a challenge, they say once again a quality experience is what will set this destination apart from the rest. Megan Shepard has our top story.
The Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar, expressing his approval of the growing vacation rental market throughout the country and here on Grand Bahama. The market is most famous through the website Airbnb, which allows guests to rent the personal homes of residents in countries and cities that they visit. The tourism minister says he believes that these types of small developments are much more impactful for Bahamians.
These we are finding to be the engines of a tourism economy now. People are shifting away from the bigger resorts to these smaller, more boutique side style locations, and it's good to see, and people are fun and much more personable, and met some foreign visitors when we were here today, and they're obviously, they've been coming here many years. We find in these types of accommodations, or these types of hotels or boutique accommodation, that you have a very high repeat business.
He adds that these type of rentals are steadily becoming the engine of the tourism economy, as more and more tourists are shifting away from the bigger resorts for a more boutique style experience. However, he does admit that the vacation home market is difficult to measure.
It's the fact that for very little money, you're in the hotel business. So before, you had to have $5, $10, $15 million, $20 million, $100 million, $1 billion to build hotels, and therefore to engage in our number one industry. But what Airbnb and the like are doing is they're allowing small operators to get into the business as big as one room, and for that tourist dollar to go directly into their pockets without having to pass through anybody else. So I think that from a government standpoint, very, very supportive of that, just because of how it puts money right in the hands of people almost immediately.
Minister de Aguilar also noting that these business persons must now ensure that each guest has an amazing time while on island and within their homes.
Make that vacation incredible. They get online and they say that the place wasn't nice and the service was bad, and that is it. You will never be able to rent your place again. So it's very, very important that when you go online, people have the ability to write comments about you, and you have the ability to write comments about your guests. But it's a very transparent renting mechanism, and you have to ensure that those that come there have an awesome experience. And that's the only way you'll keep people coming back, because you get ranked.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Megan. Well, they are partners in the business of tourism, and today these members of the ground transportation sector were voting for a new executive team to manage the affairs of the Grand Bahama Taxi Union. The polls opened at 9 a.m. and there were some 18 positions on the ballot. 175 members were eligible to vote. Those turning out early say they want to see change in the industry.
I'm looking for changes in our presidency where we can have somebody that's going to stand up for the taxi drivers, that's not going to sit down and relax and tell us things and don't get it done. That's what I'm looking for. Because we've been going through it for a long time. And when you have the buses coming in the harbor and so many other buses, private charters are coming on stream, taking our jobs, then it's time to, it's time to look elsewhere.
The way it appears right now, we're not getting the respect that we need as taxi drivers in the community.
I've been a taxi driver for 4 years, and I'm really interested in seeing a change from the top to the bottom. I want to see a change where taxi drivers could get more to take home to their families.
The candidates for the top post are incumbent David Jones and Harold Curry. The vice president position contested by incumbent Rodney Forbes, Sydney Abaco McIntosh, and Elizabeth Smith. And for the second vice president position, Stephen Bain, Zenrick Blackus Saunders, and the incumbent Geraldine Dean.
I have to continue to see if we can get more jobs provided for the taxi drivers. A lot of jobs have been taken away. So now we're trying to get them back. We have already gotten some of them back, and we have to continue that fight. And that's the reason why I'm running in this election, to continue to fight, to make sure that we get what's rightfully ours.
Now the polls closed at 5 p.m. and we will have those results in a later newscast. The Minister of Social Development and Urban Renewal encouraging those who may still need assistance for school uniforms to apply to social services. While the government has received some backlash for a cut in social services, the social services budget, tonight the minister responsible says those who meet the criteria will not be turned away.
As it relates to uniforms.
The Minister of Social Development and Urban Renewal, Frankie Campbell, making it clear that students who may still need uniforms should apply for uniform assistance. In recent weeks, the government has come under fire for a cut in uniform assistance from $360,000 last year to $270,000 this year, a difference of some $90,000. But the minister responsible is clearing up some misinformation.
There is no question about whether or not they were assisted last year. There's no question about how many children are in a family. The government of the Bahamas, through the Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development, is committed to ensuring, as far as possible, all of our children are ready for school, and we will assist once we're satisfied that persons meet the criteria. Of course, we're here for the needy, not the wanty. The needy. So we will help those in need, and the only way we can discern that is by evaluating.
There is a criteria that must be met for those who need assistance. You have to show proof of Bahamian citizenship, proof of connection to the child who the application is being made for, and provide the child's report card or school acceptance letter if the child is going into a different school or starting school for the first time. The minister says that the aim is to assist those within a certain income bracket.
So we're not here for persons who may have income and they use their income unwisely, etc., and then want to be assisted. We're here for persons who didn't have the income in the first instance. Our philosophy is good governance is not about how much we give to persons who already had, but it's about what we do for persons who never had. So we're here for the needy.
Minister of Finance Peter Turnquest agrees. He says that there is no doubt that there is adequate funding for assistance programs for social services.
So there's no question that those funding is available, and as the minister said, it's really about ensuring that we have accountability, that we spend the people's money wisely and for those who are most in need. And so again, those who are in genuine need, they will be assisted, and there's no question about the funding in that regard.
Should we find that what was allotted for a particular program has been exhausted, we will prioritize based on what we perceive the need to be, and we'll make some adjustments.
Campbell explains the timeline for distribution should you still need to apply for uniform assistance at this stage.
Well, I would say generally within a week or two. We realize that at this late hour, some of our people like last minute. So we have our staff in the various offices prepared to do a little more overtime. Some persons will come at the last minute. Between now and the 15th, we're still looking to assist persons.
Shoshina Wolf-Farquharson, ZNS Network News. And on to some sad news. It is day 3 of the new school year, and the Jack Hayward High School family continues to mourn. For students, staff, and administration, they have now lost a 3rd member of that school family. Tonight, they are trying to cope with yet another tragic blow. Our Jay Philippe has this report.
The Jack Hayward Senior High is in a deep state of mourning. Having losing 2 students earlier this week following a traffic accident, they are grieving another loss. This time, a very dedicated educator who has been teaching at the school for the last 20 years.
We are feeling a loss, but at the same time, we're also concentrating on the great times that we had together with her. She was a very active teacher at this school. She served in various capacities, house coordinator and cosmetologist. In fact, she even was a science teacher originally, and she had a lot of vitality and vigor. And even during her sickness, she just pressed on, and if you didn't know she was ill, you wouldn't know that she was.
Stephanie Higgins has served as a cosmetology and science teacher at the school. She was also actively involved in other areas around the school. Principal Bronwyn Smith says her presence will be greatly missed.
She is going to be a great loss to us, and we are going to, our condolences go out to her husband and her children. And especially her children. She loved her children. You know, there's a hymn that says, "Can a mother's tender care cease to war towards the child she bare?" And they are motherless today, but I think we have a lot of women here and a lot of her friends and family who are going to surround them and give them comfort and strength during this time. So our condolences go out to them and to Mr. Higgins.
We're here at Jack Hayward Senior High this morning where there was another loss in the Jack Hayward community. This time a teacher has passed away, and we can only hope that the family and friends are very supportive during this time of grief. I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
Wow, thanks so much, Jay. Definitely a beautiful person. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Dolly Madison, Freeport's original home center.
Musicians, churches, nightclubs, Radio Shack is now stocked with heavy-duty power amps, powered speakers, subwoofers, cordless and wired microphones, lavaliers, guitar strings, drumsticks, skins and accessories, guitar and bass amps, DI boxes, crossovers, line conditioners, percussion instruments, clarinet and saxophone reeds, PA systems, mixers, routers, hard drives, sound cards, tablets, MacBook Pro power cords and adapters, and so much more at the new Radio Shack at Dolly Madison Home Center.
Come on down. This month alone, I reduced my power bill by over $300 by purchasing a solar system from Northern Bahamas Utility Company. My power bill is now $16. Can you believe it?
Here's another reason why owning a solar system from Northern Bahamas Utilities is right for you. Stop by today at number 8 Oak Street or call us at 225-0766 extension 106 and ask about our in-house financing or lease-to-own option. See you today.
Be sure to tune into the ZNS Television Network Sunday, September 9th at 2 p.m. for the airing of the farewell service for the Venerable Archdeacon Father Harry Bain. That's this Sunday, September 9th at 2 p.m. only on the ZNS Television Network. Stay informed on your local weather forecast this 2018 hurricane season. Your #1 news station, the ZNS Television Network. We've got you covered. Covering the Northern Bahamas, You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Frank's Ice Cream Summer Job Program coming to a close at the Grand Lucayne Resort. The young participants were challenged to study the Bible over the summer break and then take a test at the end of the program while competing for cash, prizes, and a car. Minister of State for Grand Bahama Kwesi Thompson noting that Frank Outen should be applauded for continuing the program in the midst of a struggling economy.
A lot of people are saying how bad things are in Grand Bahama. But it does not make sense that for the last 18 years, in a place where people call the press, that we are able to give away cars. It don't make sense. Only the Lord could do this. I think we really ought to recognize the significance of that. Listen, I don't know of any place else in the Bahamas that gives away cars to children, let alone gives away cars to children for learning the Bible.
Guest speaker Pastor Laquaz Williams also commending the local businessmen for hosting the program every year.
God has used this great visionary just to inspire you and me. If anything you want to do, it's possible because God has placed this idea in his life and he can make a difference. And just like how Brother Frank can make a difference, you can make a difference. And I thank God because he had to have somebody who would have poured that into his life.
It's not about me. It's the Lord do it through me. And I'm thankful and honored to be used. And long as I'm living, I always made that promise. I'm living, so I have to do it. Don't care if circumstances, look around, people say, oh, you can't fool with this. Things are tough. There's no toughness in God's kingdom.
Well, 21 kids received cash and prizes. Jaquan Green walked away with the grand prize, a Mini Cooper vehicle. Switching gears now, members of the Kiwanis Club of Freeport doing their part to help parents get their kids ready for the new school term. The club recently hosted their annual medical and dental screening at the 8 Mile Rock Clinic. President of the organization, Charlotte Eden, says that they want to ensure that the students return to the classrooms healthy. Registered nurse Jeanette Lighthorn was a member of the team in place for the medical screening.
Sometimes the parent, they don't get to go to the clinic. So on Saturday, they could give up, a half an hour to come here and do the screening. And normally through the week, the clinics are full. So with this, it's easy, and they could make the nurse and the doctors will make an appointment that they could come and they could just go straight in.
Doing the screening, this when persons find out that they have like illness, like say for instance, like a child might have diabetes, and you might see the signs and the symptoms, but the family, they just don't know, not until you come to the screening.
Clinical Director of Dentistry, Dr. Catherine Adderley, says parents must also pay attention to their children's oral health and hygiene. She says a dental checkup should be done once every 6 months.
As long as I've been doing this, I've actually been working in this clinic for 25 years, and I still get people who don't realize that you have to bring your kids to the dentist before a problem starts. As a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, we started this as a back-to-school checkup. The same way you make sure they have their books in order, their hair is in order, their clothes in order, you have to make sure that their health is in order, and that includes their oral health and hygiene, because what we see a lot of is that kids are taken out of school and have to miss school during the regular school year because of pain, problems, things that could have been avoided by regular cleaning and checkup.
And finally, in news this evening, the month of September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and the US2 organization on Grand Bahama is rolling out an intense awareness campaign. A 2-day screening exercise will kick off this weekend. Jay Philippe has the details.
The month of September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. US2 Grand Bahama Support, Educate, Advocate will be coordinating a screening clinic for men next week for persons of interest.
During the month of September, we have our annual screening of men. The screening includes a PSA, prostate-specific antigen exam, and a DRE examination, digital rectal examination. In 2017, we began testing for the BRCA gene mutation. In 2011, we screened 89 men. Last year, 2017, we screened almost 700 men. This year, our aim is to screen 800 or more men.
The screenings will be free to all men. It's important to be mindful that prostate cancer is the #1 killer of men in the Bahamas. Don Mitchell, screening chairman and prostate cancer survivor, says it's very important to get tested.
If you have a family history of prostate cancer, you should get screened as of age 35. If you don't, you may begin at age 40. You must get screened every year. And I say this with the deepest of passion because I personally am probably more involved with the men who have prostate cancer in Grand Bahama than anybody else.
If diagnosed early, prostate cancer can be 100% treatable. There are many cancer survivors on Grand Bahama Island. The greatest problem is that men wait very late to be tested, and by the time the prostate cancer takes a hold of you, this results in a large number of prostate cancer deaths in the Bahamas.
When it spreads to other organs, again, particularly the bone, it is a dreadful disease, and success in treatment is much more difficult to achieve.
Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Jay Philippe.
And now it is time to ask the doctor.
This is Ask the Doctor. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. Lawrence from Freeport inquired, "My wife has trouble falling asleep almost every night. What do you recommend for this?" Thanks for your question, Lawrence, and there are many others who have similar sleeping problems. Your wife has what we call insomnia. It is a sleep disorder where there is difficulty falling asleep and or staying asleep. Persons suffering from insomnia may also experience tiredness upon awakening, and if they wake up during the night, they have difficulty falling back asleep. Stress, certain medical conditions such as anxiety, depression, or sleep apnea, medications, caffeine, and nicotine can all have a negative effect on sleep. If left untreated, insomnia can pose serious health risks. Studies have shown that people with insomnia are found to miss work more often, have a higher risk of developing depression, and have overall poorer health. So here are some of my recommendations to prevent insomnia. Have a regular sleep schedule, avoid caffeinated beverages late in the evening, and avoid taking naps in the evening. If these simple changes don't help and you or your partner are still experiencing sleep problems, please discuss your symptoms with your doctor. Natural sleep aids and prescribed medications for insomnia are available. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Don't go away. A check on sports is up next with Ramiko Knowles.
It's back to school and back to school savings at Bellevue Business Depot. For all of your back to school and teacher supplies, they have it all at an extra 20% off retail price. Crayons, glue, markers, crayon pencils, backpack, character bags, meat notebooks, and teacher supplies for the classroom, and much, much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the backpack bundles for preschool, primary school, and high school, loaded with all the supplies you need for back to school. Teachers get your first 8-foot Butcher Fadeless paper free when you purchase a minimum of 10 feet, as well as additional discounts at the Coffee Center. All at Bellevue Business Depot, located on Queens Highway.
We from the Bahamas, sunshine and sea. A lot of activities, but for you and me. If you don't believe me, then come follow me. Come right down to this place and we call it KFC. KFC the Big Cheese. We got the Big Cheese. KFC the Big Cheese. We got the Big Cheese. No one can beat us at anything we do. Sports, art, soccer, tennis, even junk canoe. We got the best beaches, even the best food. I already tell you, that's just how we do. KFC the Big Cheese. We got the Big Cheese. KFC the Big Cheese. We got the Big Cheese.
Purchase a Big Chief meal today and receive 2 Big Chief collectible cups at all KFC restaurants in Freeport.
Good evening, all. Welcome to another exciting edition of Sports. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Topping sports this evening, baseball clubs and scouts from all over the world seem to be focusing their attention on the Bahamas as more and more Bahamian players are being scouted and signed to play professional baseball. Jay Philippe has more.
The Ontario Nationals are an elite baseball organization focusing on advanced player development through a year-round professional training regimen. The head coach currently here on Grand Bahama Island recruiting baseball players.
It's been very exciting what I saw. I was able to see a group of kids 2 times, and the general impression I have is that the kids are very athletic and also with positive attitudes and enjoy themselves being out here.
The Nationals are also founding partners in the newly formed Canadian Premier Baseball League, where they field individual teams from under 14, under 15, under 16, under 17, and also 18 and under.
And we do training from November through April indoors, obviously, on strength training and baseball skill development. And then we play in a league in May and June and July, and we also go into tournaments in the U.S. So the primary goal is to develop the players so that they're able to acquire scholarships in the U.S.
Coach Sean has been impressed with O'Neill Pritchard, a product of Cooperstown, Abaco, and he believes this can be a dream come true.
I always dreamed of playing Major League Baseball, and like Ms. Payson said, I was having a lot of challenges. So for this opportunity right now, it's a blessing. It's a good opportunity for me to improve my baseball skills, and I know Coach, he know a lot about baseball, so I feel like he could help me in the areas that I'm weak.
This was all possible thanks to Bonnie Basin, who made the initial contact with Coach Sean.
We developed a relationship, a very short-term relationship over the phone, and Coach Sean was very interested in just coming to the Bahamas and checking out the talent here and developing and building a relationship with myself and the baseball community here. And within 2 weeks he was here, and here we are today.
I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Total Sports.
The Rising Stars Youth Baseball and Softball Development League will commence its preseason training for the upcoming baseball softball season on Saturday, September 8th at the GB Sports Complex softball field from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The league is scheduled to open February 2nd, 2019. And the Grand Bahama Amateur Softball Association back on the Plex tonight in playoff action in co-ed slow pitch. The Immigration Enforcers will take on the Cooper's Destroyers in the opener at 7 p.m. Pat's Uniform Reds take on GBPA Regulators at 8 o'clock. And in the men's fast pitch, Express Stackers take on Tenor Elutherans at 9 o'clock. More playoff action continues on Friday. And that's your check on sports. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Until next time, make it a great one.
By Megan Coakley. When you want to look like a star. Phone 443-7979.
I'm Hugh Ferguson from Budget Pest Control. After 30 years in this industry, testing hundreds of pest control products, none has impressed me more than Vape. Vape 90-Day Mosquito Destroyer, Vape Aerosol, and Vape Mosquito Coil. Vape is the only spray that you will find in my house and my mother's house, and it should be the only one in yours. In pest control, there are only 2 names to remember: Vape and Budget Pest Control. Okay.
Business owners are excited about ZNS Northern Service Storm Central Hurricane Packages because advertising rates are discounted up to 50%. That's right, get 50% off advertising packages this hurricane season from now through November 30th. Call our sales department at 351-3430 or 352-9713 and book your advertising package today.
And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Shoshina Wolf-Farquharson. Thank you so much for tuning in.
most important thing I want to say is that this is a Bahamian initiative. All of these things, every app we've discussed here, we designed, created, conceived of here within this team. We have a brilliant software technologist consultant who works with us. She is also Bahamian. And this thought that you have to go overseas or somebody has to come and drop something, we've constructed all of this right here on site in Alive at Holy Cross.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. It's a time of year when people, health experts, and caregivers make work even harder to raise awareness about prostate cancer and to educate those at risk. Here at home, the number of men diagnosed daily is startling.
Even if you're not experiencing any symptoms, if you're over the age of 40, go and get tested anyhow.
Join ZNS TV 13 as we bring you It's Not a Death Sentence, Living with Hope on Monday, September 17th at 8 p.m.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the National Report, taking the witness stand. The Minister of Health appearing in court today in an extortion trial. Drug arraignment. 4 men appearing in the magistrate's court today on several drug charges. And welcome back. Rotarians welcoming one of their own back home. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts right now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. It's good to see you on this Wednesday. Topping national news tonight, Minister of Health, Dr. the Honorable Dwayne Sands, taking the witness stand today in the bribery trial of former Public Hospitals Authority Chairman Frank Smith. He was called to give evidence in connection with a $1.8 million contract granted to a cleaning company months after charges were filed against Smith. Jimenita Swain leads us off tonight from the Supreme Court.
Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands commencing but not completing his evidence regarding his involvement in the Frank Smith bribery and extortion case. It's been revealed that Dr. Sands approved a $1.8 million contract to Barbara Hanna's company, Magic Touch Cleaning, months after these charges were leveled against Smith. The former chairman of the Public Hospitals Authority Board is accused of obtaining $65,000 from Hanna after her company secured a cleaning contract for the critical care block of the Princess Margaret Hospital. Allegations Smith denies. The minister was asked to explain the outsourcing process for the contracts, a process, he says, which was governed by rules of the PHA. For instance, he explained that up to $25,000 could be spent without referring a matter to the executive management for approval. Approvals, he said, would also be needed to spend $50,000 or more, and between $100,000 to $250,000 would need board approval. Anything higher, he says, would require the approval of the minister. Next, he was questioned about the contractor selection process, where he explained persons are invited by way of the Gazette to respond to or bid on goods and services, as well as the deadlines for those bids to be submitted. The bids, once opened, would be evaluated by persons consisting of upper and middle members of the executive staff. A subcommittee would be formed. Sands said they would then compare the bids for items inclusive of cost, quality, value, and experience, and prepare a typewritten report, which is then forwarded to executive management. Dr. Sands says the board is empowered to accept, reject, delay, or revise any recommendation of the tenders committee. He was asked by QC Edward Jenkins if there were any instances where tenders committee's reports did not go to the board. The health minister said reports did not always go to the board, highlighting instances that occurred back in 2014 and 2015. Now, Smith's attorney, Queen's Counsel Keith Knight, requested a signed copy of Sands' statement and questioned why a notice of additional evidence was not provided by the Crown, as the witness was speaking to elements not included in his statement, something Knight considered an embarrassment. The Crown sought to rectify the issue by conducting another interview with Sands. The health minister returns to the witness stand at 10 a.m. Thursday morning. Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt is presiding over the case. Jimenita Swain, ZNS Network News.
4 men were charged in connection with Sunday's drug bust, which seized 390 pounds of marijuana. The drugs have an estimated street value of $390,000. DeAndre Williamson has this report from the Magistrates Court.
54-year-old Harrison Smith of Kemps Bay, South Andros, 30-year-old Leo Jones of number 70 Old Cedar Street, Yellow Elder Gardens, 33-year-old Demetrius McPhee of Joe Farrington Road, and 45-year-old Jeffrey Miller of Kenwood Street appeared in the Magistrates Court on drug charges. Appearing before Assistant Chief Magistrate Shibusola Swain, they were charged with conspiracy to possess dangerous drugs with intent to supply and possession of dangerous drugs with intent to supply. Police say on September 2nd, shortly after 1 a.m., drug enforcement officers and marine support officers acting on information while in waters 1 mile south of Coral Harbor intercepted a wide 20-feet Boston whaler boat with 4 Bahamians on board. A search of the vessel uncovered 12 crocus sacks with 390 pounds of suspected marijuana with a street value of $390,000. The men pleaded not guilty and were not granted bail, but advised of their right to apply for bail in the Supreme Court.
Smith, Jones, McPhee, and Miller were remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. They'll return to court on November 13th at 10 a.m. for trial. For ZNS Network News, I'm DeAndre Williamson.
Still on news from the courts, authorities have been working around the clock to address the backlog in the judicial system, which has resulted in a number of delays. Addressing the issue, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Senator the Honorable Carl Bethel, says while pending cases are on the decline, a number of matters remain on the log.
Certainly on the civil side, there tends to be a greater, delay in terms of being able to schedule and obtain dates. But on the criminal side, the Bahamas is a leader in the region in terms of the speed with which criminal matters are dealt with. The average wait period is no more than 2 years. In major countries in the Caribbean region, you're waiting 10 years for a trial. And you're waiting that 10 years for trial in jail. But we have a very, responsive and constitutional approach towards these matters. And no person could be held in jail for those sorts of periods, 10 years, lawfully, awaiting trial.
Also making national news tonight, a memorial service being held this evening for Chief Justice, the late Stephen Isaacs, at St. Matthew's Anglican Church. And on Friday, a state funeral will be held at Christ Church Cathedral at 11 a.m. His body will lie in state in the Supreme Court for public viewing from noon tomorrow until funeral time. All national flags will also be flown at half-staff during this period. All courts will be closed on Friday, and tomorrow's court sessions end at 1 p.m. The Chief Justice died nearly 2 weeks ago at the age of 63. He had recently been sworn into the post. Yesterday, Justice Vera Watkins was sworn in as acting Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Still ahead tonight, the Minister of Agriculture outlining partnerships he plans to create for the ministry. And coming up in sports, we've got the latest scores from the New Providence Softball Association playoffs. We're just getting started here on the National Report. We'll see you on the next side of the break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Shell, fueling journeys that matter. Summer promotion.
Get ready. Commonwealth Bank wants to make this your best school year ever. Get the loan you need at a special discount. Cash for tuition and supplies, the best education, the best memories, and you want to know the best part? You could win a trip for 4. So don't wait. The discount ends soon. Talk to us today about your best school year ever loan. Approval is fast and easy. Conditions apply.
You can count on me. Just call me and I'll come.
My first memory of music would have been a performance when everyone was singing the song. The song was drop down and come up slow, and everyone in the crowd was singing. I was amazed. I was in shock.
I did not always want to be a performer, I actually wanted to be a doctor. And when I was on my way to med school, I had this whole epiphany, and I went to Berklee College of Music, and that's when I made the switch.
If I weren't singing, I'd be singing. I love track and field.
Many different things inspire me. It isn't anything specific. It's just, just enjoying the environment. And that's what I think music should be about, being free. tap of a button, I'm able to get in contact with persons all the way across the world. Technology acts as that bridge that keeps me connected.
BTC in one word, I would have to say clutch.
Connected. Family.
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 Every day, every day, every day.
Summer is here, and it's the time of year we love getting together with family and friends. And nothing shows your love more than one of KFC's new buckets. KFC's Bucket Love is all about our freshly prepared chicken, delicious side, and hot buttery biscuits, starting at just $20. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Now, Vanessa, you look stressed out.
Girl, listen, I here on my little piece of lunch break trying to pay these bills. I gotta go head to BTC, then I gotta go fly to BEC, and then I gotta go swim to Water and Switch.
Girl, look, save your time and your gas, all right? Make one stop.
How? Take your backside to Cash and Go. You pay all 3 bills one time. It's one line, one place, with a bunch of locations. You think I should go now?
Vanessa, you ain't reached yet? Cash and Go. Fast, free, convenient. Call 322-CASH for more information.
We start with a yes, but when life takes unexpected turns, you can still say yes to more. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card gives you points with every purchase that you can use to travel anywhere. Fly on any airline, anywhere, and anytime, with no blackout dates. Plus, with just 20,000 Scotia points, you can say yes to destinations. With Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card, it's easier to say yes to everything. Apply today.
This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
We continue with news from Labor. Minister of Labor, Senator the Honorable Dion Fowkes, setting the record straight regarding the foreign Bahamian ratio at the Point Hotel. Concerns were raised by members of the Contractors Association that more foreigners were engaged. But the Labor Minister says his team looked into the matter and he's satisfied with their findings.
One from our investigators that showed an increase in the Bahamian composition of workers at the Point. And we also received a report from the management at the Point that showed a much larger increase of Bahamian workers. I spoke to the key persons there, and we have agreed to do a joint exercise, which we did yesterday morning. Mr. Pinder, the Director of Labor, personally went on site along with a group of investigators to ascertain exactly what the facts are.
The Labor Minister added that he's concerned about reports that employees at the Point are reportedly being reclassified to fill other positions.
We want to make sure that non-Bahamians who are at the site are only doing jobs that Bahamians are not qualified to do or not available to do. And that is why the Director of Labor went yesterday morning. I do not want to preempt his report, but it was a personal visit that he made.
While there are a number of exciting plans for the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, the minister responsible, the Honorable Michael Pintard, says right now the main focus of his ministry is to ensure that all departments are working in tandem with each other to reduce duplication of services. To ensure this, the ministry's senior team has been meeting with the boards responsible for the Bahamas Agricultural and Marine Science Institute and the Bahamas Agriculture and Industrial Corporation.
We have a common challenge, and the common challenge again is to, 1, increase food security, 2, to substitute the many non-food related items that we are presently importing, that we have the ability as a country to produce. And so we are seeking to make sure that we do not work in silos. In addition, we have to work in tandem with other ministries. Naturally, we have to work with the Ministry of Tourism. We have 6 million visitors that come to this country. And the reality is, if we are producing the items that they consume, we will be reducing the economic leakage where millions of dollars are going out of the country on a regular basis, purchasing the very things that our tourists consume.
Minister Pintard went on to say that the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources is also working to build the capacity of farmers and fishermen by providing access to funding.
BAIC is going to play a pivotal role in leading that charge, where we can put in the same room entrepreneurs in the fisheries or the marine resources sector, as well as farmers, putting them in the very same role as funders. Toward that end, we're going to be making the rounds to the Venture Capital Fund, the Bahamas Development Bank, the commercial banking institutions, and we are looking internationally at non-governmental organizations, intergovernmental organizations that have resources and wish to invest in this sector.
Government continues its road repair program in North Andros. Area Representative Carlton Boleg says the road in Red Bays is in a poor state and the job will take lots of funding. But he's looking forward to discussions with the Minister of Works to get the process in motion. As he puts those wheels in motion, Boleg says road works are progressing in another area.
We do have major road works that is going on, and a lot of the roads that dig up in North Andros that is starting now to be paved, especially in South Mastic Point. We have started, and it's going to continue into the north with all of the proper infrastructure in place also, that they're going to be turning over the new water lines and everything with more pressure into the homes. So there's a lot of excitement still going on.
In another few weeks, work on the new post office will get underway. This is welcome news for the staff at the facility who have been working under poor conditions for some time. During his weekly press briefing, Press Secretary Anthony Newbold gave an update on plans for the new state-of-the-art facility.
The Ministry of Works, who has carriage of this, they're presently preparing construction drawings for that building. They're also awaiting the structural engineer's report on that building. And then once that's done, the quantity surveyors will have a look at it. At that point, you're talking about numbers, actual numbers. And the process as it is now, as it's going now, could run into, this is September, could run into November before you actually see anything physically happening with that building. But that's the process right now. They're preparing construction drawings. Structural engineers will have a look at the building, and then the quantity surveyors have to look at it and put some numbers to it before we get to actual signing a contract with somebody to do something with it.
Fostering camaraderie and more student involvement on the school's campus is the aim of faculty and staff and students at the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute as they hosted their back-to-school involvement fair today. LaDon Davis tells us that the student population this year at BTVI has increased significantly.
Getting a good technical and vocational experience is a top priority for hundreds of students pursuing careers at the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute. And on Wednesday, they got a warm welcome from vendors like BTC, BAIC, and other civic organizations at their back-to-school involvement fair. President Dr. Robert Robertson says student enrollment figures this year far exceeded his expectations.
Well, we have a record number of students at BTVI this year. Our enrollment's up about 30%, obviously because of the government program to provide scholarship support for students. With all these new students, we want to welcome them back to campus, get them ready for classes, and basically get them in a good mood for the work that's ahead. We have a ratio of about 50-50 actually, which is kind of unusual for a technical and vocational school, but we see a lot of interest in the trades, for example, from women, which historically has not been the case. So we're pretty satisfied, basically, that we have a good gender mix.
Dean of Student Services Raquel Bethel says the fair has attracted the attention of 10 vendors, the largest turnout the fair has seen in years. She says students must take full advantage of the opportunities and services available to them.
We want our students to be involved not only in getting an education, but being a part of the BTVI community and the Bahamian community at large. So we're inviting them to become involved in clubs and also to get involved in some of the civic organizations such as the Red Cross, such as Hands for Hunger, any other agency that's out there that's giving back to the community. That's important to us.
Meanwhile, a few students we spoke to say they are excited to head back to the classroom and shared with us why it is so important to get involved around the school's campus and within the community.
When it comes to, managing and, of course, getting everyone together, socializing really, creating bonds, links. So therefore, as someone in IT, you just need, someone in IT, you need people such as in electrical, you need people in electronics. So it helps you build those bonds, get to know people.
It gives the new students a chance to come back and get involved on campus, and also it gives the newer students a chance to realize that once you come into BTVI, it's not just you go into class and you're going home. You get a chance to broaden your horizon.
These stakeholders are hoping that the Involvement Fair does what it is created to do, and that is to help encourage students to use the knowledge gained to assist with the country's development. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
Continuing on the education beat, most schools have been off to a smooth start at the start of a new academic year this week, including Kingsway Academy. Crystal Darling tells us more.
Hope is high for students, parents, and educators as the school is in session. Principal at Kingsway Academy told us what the school's plans are this year.
We're anticipating lots of excitement, lots of learning, lots of growing with our children, with our parents, and indeed the teachers as well, as we endeavor to take our children to the next level. This school year, we will be continuing to encourage our reading comprehension, our critical thinking product, and so that we take the children to the next level and even beyond where they think they will be or can be or should be. We want them to know that you can go even beyond those places. And also we continue to focus on character development. We are high on academics and high on the sports and all of that, but we want to make sure our children are socially ready to deal with society.
Parents also have high hopes for their children.
That he'll settle, he'll continue to be a 3-point student, and he'll mature and do well.
Just hope that he'll have an excellent school year. I pray that, he's given the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding to just go about his day-to-day.
What about the students themselves?
I hope my mom keeps me to the school so I would learn more and more. To learn and do all my work and get A's. Passing all exams and maybe getting head girl or valedictorian, salutatorian. That's what I'm aiming for.
Students, parents, and teachers are all looking forward to having a productive school year. I'm Crystal Darling, ZNS Network News.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Crystal Darling. The Central Bank of the Bahamas has released updated guidelines to prevent money laundering and to counter the financing of terrorism. The guidelines were immediately put in place on Monday, and they outline customer due diligence requirements for all banks and their supervised financial institutions. The United States Embassy announced today the selection of 3 Bahamians into a Young Leaders of the Americas program. The exchange program will involve 250 business and social entrepreneurs to collaborate and network with U.S. professionals while building leadership skills. The YLIA program will begin on September 20th in Detroit, Michigan, taking place in 19 more cities across the U.S. And in international news, stock prices are up for the American semiconductor company Advanced Micro Devices, or AMD, a chip manufacturer. AMD's main competitor, tech giant Intel, has been losing out in market share as AMD produces a more advanced chip. And due to the projected growth of the company, price targets were raised from $22 to $30. AMD shares are up 144% year to date, making it the top performing stock in the Standard & Poor's 500 this year. This has been your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Crystal Darling.
Exhale, exhale, now you're home. You can have your peace of mind. Oh, it's family time. Attention to the smallest detail. Safety and security, we deliver luxury. Serenity, welcome home.
Ever wondered what smart health insurance feels like?
Atlantic Medical's 24/7 worldwide health insurance does most of the thinking for you.
1,500 CGI health claims are settled daily.
56% of claims settled automatically.
You can access your health plan almost anywhere, anytime.
And have smart wellness with online data tracking.
And more provider choices for you and the people who matter most.
Premier Health is smart health insurance, and it feels good.
Atlantic Medical, where people come first.
Free, reliable, anytime, anywhere, and instant. That's the benefits of using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Pay bills, check account balances, transfer funds, and more. Enjoy the freedom of banking on your own terms. Why wait in line? Save time. Do your banking using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean to find out more.
We've all got plans for our golden years. Unfortunately for many, this may just be wishful thinking. To generate an annual income in retirement of $70,000 for 20 years at a rate of return of 5%, with inflation running at 3%, requires more than $1.1 million. So how do you save that much money? Many companies provide a group pension plan to help their employees by deducting an amount each month from their pay to contribute to the plan. Personal Pension Plan, or PPP, is similar to a group plan, but offered only to individuals. These plans offer many of the same benefits and features. Contact us for more information on pensions.
Where can you find amazing selections of tiles from around the world? Exquisite medallions, pool mosaics, all colorful, bright and bold. They got granite countertop for the kitchen, elegant vanity zincs for the bathroom, tile care and ruby too. Everything you need and more at the Tile King.
The Tile King, located 69 Wolf Road. For more information, call 326-TILE or 326-5464.
Thanks so much for staying with us, especially those of you who tune in to our social media platforms. President of Rotary International and local founding member Dr. Barry Rassin welcomed 3 new members into the Rotary organization during an induction ceremony Wednesday night at the Poop Deck West. Rassin assumed his role as president of the International Club in July, and he has a very busy agenda. He was happy to greet the new members and says he hopes to leave his mark during his tenure.
It's an incredible experience to have an opportunity to go to other countries of the world and spend time meeting Rotarians, seeing the projects they do, seeing the change they're making that's making our world a better place. So it truly is very inspiring for me. I'm talking a lot about change. I'm talking a lot about the need to increase our gender diversity. Right now we're only 22% female. We need to increase that number. There's a lot of good women out there who should be a part of Rotary. So we're really opening the door to make sure that can happen. We're also working very hard as one of the top priorities to bring young professionals engaged in what Rotary does. They really want to do service. We need to change some of our old traditions so we're more relevant to the younger people.
Rotary Club of New Providence President Valentino Hamilton says Rotary's most important priority is to recruit new young members who can bring new ideas. He says the evening was special because the club was able to host its international president.
Barry Rassin is the first ever Bahamian president of Rotary International and also the first president from our district, which is District 7020, which is comprised of several countries in the Caribbean. So tonight was very historic to see President Rassin take time from his busy travel from all over the world to come back home to the Bahamas, to Rotary Club of New Providence, a club that he helped charted in 1988. And so his theme is Be the Inspiration, and we certainly were inspired by Rotary International President Rassin's presentation tonight.
A good old-time religion group is celebrating a major milestone this year, and today they started off their festivities with a visit to the country's head of state. Sieska Adderley was there.
One by one, members of the Regent Bells greeted Governor General, Her Excellency, the Most Honorable Dame Marguerite Pinling, during a courtesy call at Government House Wednesday morning. It was an exciting time for the family-based gospel group, who is celebrating its 70th anniversary. Following that visit, Secretary Abraham Stubbs reveals what has kept them going for this long.
Growing up as children, we always were told if you give somebody something and you take it back, what do you get? Hawks Eye. The good Lord gave us gifts, and we are not expecting to get any hog style. You know, we're going to use it for his honor and for his glory. It is a gospel group. If you listen to any of our songs, it's all very Bible-based and filled with messages for everybody. Almost every story in the Bible you can mention, we have a song to match it, to go with it. And so these that keep just being inspired to write songs are things that keep you going.
Over the years, their songs have inspired many and has become a staple of Bahamian culture. Recognizing groups like the Region Bells is what members of the National Heroes Committee have been advocating for the past 25 years, and that is to celebrate our own. Committee member Fred Munnings is happy that the day has finally come for them, and he believes it is well deserved.
We wanted to highlight the contribution that groups like this one would have made to the development of our country. They are our historians. They hold the history of our country. And as you have heard, for the past 70 years, continuously, this group have been perpetuating what we think is the only original art form in music in the Bahamas, which is the rhyming spirituals, according to the late Clement Bethel. It is authentically Bahamian, and as they have said, most of the material is based in biblical stories and Christian principles.
Before leaving Government House, the Region Bells gave Dame Marguerite Pinling a special treat.
Oh Lord, have mercy, who's troubled in this land. I see that beautiful island of sunshine, troubled in this land. Again, oh Lord, have mercy.
But the group is showing no signs of slowing down as they prepare to welcome its fourth generation of members to the group in time for next month's concert that will be held as part of National Heroes Day festivities. C.S. Scatterly, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Sieska, and happy anniversary to the Region Bells. There's more to come. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, your news leader.
We are 700 Wines and Spirits from Grand Bahama
to San Salvador.
Just around the corner when you need us.
For every celebration and relaxation.
Committed to quality and service since 1953.
With renowned wines,
rums and spirits.
We are 700 Wines and Spirits, always with ice cold beer.
And attractive promotions.
Here for you as we've always been. One name, one people, united in wines and spirits.
We are 700 Wines and Spirits.
Shell is taking you on an exciting journey with its summer promotion. Now through September 14th, enter for your chance to win a brand new 2018 Toyota Yaris. Just make a minimum purchase of $20 worth of fuel from any Shell service station in Nassau. Answer the skill question on the entry form and submit. The grand prize will be drawn on September 14th. Other weekly prizes include free fuel vouchers and VIP packages to see Jay-Z and Beyonce live in concert August 31st at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. For more info, visit their Facebook page at Sunoil Bahamas.
At Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center, we provide imaging services to meet all your family's needs. Same goes for imaging at Grosvenor. We're the imaging experts. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiology specialist can consult your doctor and conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Results are ready within 24 hours. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
Know how you can save more money, save more time, earn more interest, and have more for the future? The solution is an account from Fidelity Bank. With our ASU Savings, fixed deposits, and preferred client program, you can get free financial advice from our team of experts, competitive interest rates, and free online banking for simple and safe banking anytime, anywhere. Open a fixed deposit or savings account with Fidelity by visiting a branch today. Get into the rhythm of saving with Fidelity. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Life is full of choices. Some are tough, while others, like shopping for weekly specials at Super Value and quality supermarkets, are very, very easy. Snack Pack Juicy Gels or Puddings 4-pack, $1.79. Danish Spare Ribs, $2.49 per pound. Lay's Chips, 1-ounce bags, 2 for 99 cents. Mart's Apple Juice, 11.5-ounce can, 69 cents. Gala Apples, 4 for 99 cents. Armour Lunch Makers, 2.6-ounce size, 2 for $3. The obvious choice for savings is Super Value and quality supermarkets.
It's time now for a check on the weather in your part of the Bahamas, and Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us with the latest temperatures. Good evening, Baz.
Good evening, Altaways. Right now, we're going to take a look at temperatures around the Family Islands, and they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 81 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Turkey, and Abaco. 86 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. In the Berry Islands, 84 also in Alistown, Bimini. 86 degrees here in the capital, Harbor Island at 83. 82 in Roxanne, Eleuthera, Otterstown, Cat Island at 82. Stanley Key in Exumachine, 83 more 83s in Camp Space at Andros and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. 82s in San Salvador, Rum Key and Georgetown, Exuma, also Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Magona, Acklands, and Ragged Island. Matthewtown, Inagua, 83, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 82 degrees. Your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Pink Setter. In the Northwest and Central Islands, easterly winds can be expected, 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet with a moderate chop. Your low tide will take place at 9:11 and the high tide at 3:40 in the afternoon. And for the southeast Bahamas, east to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights at 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. And then tomorrow in the northwestern parts of our country, easterly winds at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Low tide, 10:17 in the morning, high tide at 4:42 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands tomorrow, which is Thursday, a southeast flow at 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. And as we take you into Friday for the northwestern islands, those winds fall off light and variable with very flat sea conditions, 1 to 3 feet over the ocean. Low tide, 11:18 in the morning, high tide at 5:39 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands on Friday, southeast winds once again at 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It is time now for your travel forecast, and your travel forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Boy, don't you stop. Continue to fight. Forgive them peace and love, and everything will be all right.
That's going to do it for your travel forecast, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is coming up in about 23 minutes.
Welcome to Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Prevent burns by preventing fires and other accidents that cause burns in your home. Fires and burns often happen unexpectedly. However, you can take precautions to help prevent them. Not all burns happen because of fires. Household chemicals, scalding water, and household appliances can also cause burns. Here are some fire and burn prevention safety tips for your home. Put smoke alarms in your home. Check them monthly. If they run on batteries, put in new batteries every 6 months. Think about how you would get out of your home in a fire emergency. Make a family escape plan and have regular fire drills at home. Designate a meeting place outside your home in case there's a fire. Have a professional electrician check the wiring in your home at least once every 10 years. Learn how and when to use a fire extinguisher. Keep one or more in your home. If there's a fire in your home, your family should stick to your family escape plan, get to your meeting place as fast as you can, stay low to the ground, crawl if you have to, smoke and heat rise. It'll be easier to breathe closer to the floor. Many more people die from poisonous gases caused by house fires than from burns. Check closed doors by touching them with the back of your hand. If the door is hot, don't open it. It means the fire is nearby. If it is cool, open it slowly and peek out. Close doors to separate yourself from the fire and smoke. If you or your clothes catch fire, stop, drop, and roll your body on the ground. Be prepared and know what to do if a fire or accident causes burns in your home. This has been Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Live your best life by living well.
Just in time for back to school, here we are with another exciting announcement. The Ministry of Education calls it a Red Letter Day, a signing between BTC and the Ministry of Education in an initiative that the Minister of Education, Jeff Lloyd, says will not only revolutionize education in the Bahamas, but it will also place the public education system in this country in step with the rest of the world.
We are very happy that the digital revolution in education begins today with this initiative with ourselves and our strategic partner, BTC.
We're upgrading now, if you would say, from a Volkswagen to a Rolls-Royce. And teachers and students are excited to be on the cutting edge of technology. No longer will we have to wait for downloads and uploads, because now we will have the fastest speed that's available to man.
As a testament to this 5-year contract and to stimulate the Ministry's e-learning initiatives, Minister Lloyd, BTC is proud to announce that we will also provide 2,500 tablets for teachers, primary school students, and preschoolers.
The rollout of fiber technology in our nation's public schools is both an exciting and ambitious undertaking, but it is a task that BTC officials say they are more than willing to meet. I'm Corval Piper, and we'll see you next BTC Connection.
Every island and every key. Keep in touch with everybody. It's BTC every day. Every day, every day, every day, every day.
Life happens, and when it does, FG Insurance Agents and Brokers is here. We help you protect the assets you've worked hard to attain. We offer home, auto, marine, commercial, and liability insurance. Don't hesitate to protect what matters with FG Insurance Agents and Brokers. Visit us and speak to your agent today, or call us at 396-1490 in Nassau or 688-1500 in Freeport.
Whether you want to get going in a new car, to relax at home while you pay bills on your mobile banking app, to get the best rewards with your credit card, or to get a sure start on your little one's future. Whether you want a quick response on your loan, or just a range of services that keep your business running smoothly, you want banking that fits your life. CIBC First Caribbean, banking that fits your life.
The Home Gallery, formerly the Sleep Gallery. We're still the home of Tempur-Pedic, Sealy Posturepedic, Serta Perfect Sleeper Mattress, and so much more. We now carry an exquisite selection of fine linens, comforter, duvets, bath towels, rugs, and a wide assortment of home accessories. Everything you need to beautify your bed, bath, and home. You have to see it to believe it. The Home Gallery, open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Cable Beach Shopping Plaza, Westridge.
Also now open at Harbor Bay.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. Our men's national soccer team left town today ahead of their opener in the newly formed CONCACAF Nations League. That match will be played on Friday in Belize.
Higher ranked than us. In the last Gold Cup, they were almost right there, because only the likes of teams like USA, Mexico, and Jamaica might have beaten them. So this is a strong test. Our first game is really, really a strong test. But we're looking for good things. We're developing. We have a very young team. This young team is their focus. They're gutsy, and they expect to represent. They don't expect to say, well, hey, we're going to win this thing all. They know exactly where they stand right now. But the thing is, it's development. Over the next 4 years, it's going to be all about development. So we're going out there and give it the best shot every time.
As you would have heard, this is a very young team. That means most of the players will be competing at this level for the first time, but there is some experience mixed in.
About 9 players that really under age 19 or under. We have a few veteran players that we threw inside there, the likes of, like I said, Valin Bodie, who's our #1 goalkeeper, Dwayne Benaby, who's senior midfielder, along with Leslie Sinflow, who needs no introduction. That's the only professional we bring to the table. And we have another forward that's coming in, Mr. Terry Delancey. So we look forward to good things.
The league consists of some 41 teams divided into 3 different sections, with a champion to be crowned at the end of each edition. It will also determine which national teams qualify for the CONCACAF Gold Cup and will feature promotion and relegation, while also affecting world and regional rankings. Players Dwayne Benaby, Chris Ramming, and Valin Bodie all ready to kick it.
Expectations for the team, I'd say they're very medium to high, given the fact that we have a lot of good talent on our team, especially coming from younger players as well as a few seasoned veterans. So I think we'll give a great representation here in Belize on Friday.
I'm really excited for this Nations League, not because it'll help me develop, it'll help our country develop as a whole, not just for this team, but for the younger players under me that will be coming up to play with us soon. It'll help the nation develop as a whole so that we could hopefully soon become a footballing nation.
Going into this competition is literally, to me, a dream come true, because I've been training and waiting literally for this opportunity for quite some time now. I've always been, the second string, third string, always been playing behind people. So to actually get the opportunity to be at the forefront and actually get an opportunity to represent my country is just unspeakable or unexplainable.
Mother Nature cooperating last night as the New Providence Softball Association was finally able to resume with its best-of-5 first-round playoffs. In the men's feature game, the Commander Security Truckers completing the sweep of the BTC Warriors with a 7-3 win in Game 3. They now await the winner of the CNS Hitmen and the Chances Mighty Mitts. Hitmen up 1-0 there, with Game 2 being played tonight. In the ladies' opener last night, BTC jumped out to an early lead on the Sunshine Auto Wildcats, only to see the Cats claw their way back, scoring in bunches in the late innings of the ball game. Cats win this one 13-7, and they take a 2-1 series lead.
The first couple of innings, we gave up 4 runs in the first inning, but we came back, scored 2. I told the ladies, this is just the first inning, but we got to wake those spots up.
I think we let them gain runs too much. We had a certain point where we were tied, and we should have brought in the relieving pitcher at that moment. We didn't. We let them score 4 more runs than us, and that really killed us.
I had to finish strong, even though in the 6th inning was kind of sluggish, but still came out on top.
The past few nights, we heard from men's basketball, women's volleyball, judo, and men's soccer as the University of the Bahamas hosts its Media Day. The Mingos will also take part in track and field. Assistant coach Ed Mulroll, he can't wait for the season to get started.
My goal for the team is to simply progress from where we were the last 2 years. Surprisingly, we have done real well within this short period of time. We had some record holders, persons who went to the track meets internationally and would have won individual events. So it's definitely to go on the same track, but do better as we get into the university status. We didn't add any track athletes because, like I said, surprisingly they did so well. So we wanted to give them, the ones that are here, more. So for the track side, we didn't add any addition. And because we're fairly new, most of them are young. They're freshmen, so they have a lot more years, 2 to 3 more years with us. So it wasn't a need per se for the track side. Definitely going forward, we want to do a little more on the jump side and the field side, the throwing side. So, but we have a solid team right now.
Ken Mullings was one of the breakout athletes for UB track and field last season, and he's looking for similar success this time around.
My goals for the upcoming season is to not just to make more senior teams or to just get physically stronger or faster, but I'm trying to work more on the mental side of the track, because I've learned a lot from the season that you really need more mental strength in the decathlon, because with 10 events, you might not only be fast or strong, but you have to be more prepared to say, get the points where you need to get the points, or make the move in the 1500 to be aggressive to go for it.
Mullings also spoke about how he balances being a student athlete.
I set a schedule, basically. Before I set my classes, I make sure it doesn't collide with the training that coach set for us during the off-season. And I basically stick with it. Like our 6 o'clock practices, I don't set no classes for 8. I like to put space between each so I have time to study, stop time to train, and have time to rest.
Volleyball will be first up when the government secondary schools 2018-2019 sports schedule gets underway. The C.I. Gibson Rattlers are the defending champions in the senior boys division.
Lost about 2 seniors. The rest, everybody was like 10 and 11 graders, so we will be back in the hunt again in terms of volleyball. Very talented team. Guys don't understand how to play the game, the right way. So volleyball going to be very exciting this year again, and and hopefully they have a chance to go there and compete and try to give themselves a chance to win again.
The Honourable Lanisha Roll settling into her new post as Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture. She spoke about how it's been going so far.
This ministry is, I would say, a little more sort of activity-driven, and so it's been keeping me busy. The adjustment has been very well. I have a good team of directors who are the technical persons, the lead technical persons responsible for each division, youth, sports, and culture, and they have been very, very welcoming to me. And so I believe that all is going to be well. The ministry government is continuous. Ministerial portfolios are continuous, and so I'm going to simply build on what Minister Pintard has begun last year and try to make the very, very best of it so that Bahamian people are proud.
The Bahamas Flag Football League's 10th annual preseason tournament about a month away now. We can tell you, coach of the defending champion Lady Spartans, Jason Clark, spoke about how this year's team compares to the one which took home the trophy last year.
We got a couple of new faces. We won't share exactly who all they are, but a couple of new faces and routes, not necessarily, but we want to definitely put on a solid game plan that we'll use both in October and in Atlanta.
And that will do it for sports. Stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight comes back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Robin Hood flour is bigger and better. When you bake with Robin Hood, you're baking with the best. And you get more for your money. Next time you shop at the food store, stop and compare. Robin Hood flour gives you more for your money. Go with the flour that's bigger and better. Robin Hood flour. Find it at your favorite food store.
We are Machinery and Energy Limited, your cat dealer for the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, and the Cayman Islands. We also carry a selection of allied brands like JLG, Wacker Neuson, and Solaire. Our extensive product line includes tractors, excavators, backhoe loaders, telehandlers, forklifts, light towers, aerial equipment, marine engines, and of course, our specialty cat generator sets. Need parts or equipment maintenance? We offer that too. Everything you need all in one place. Visit one of our branches in Nassau, Freeport, or Abaco for your construction and power generation needs.
Introducing the Subway Simple 6 menu. 6 of our best 6-inch subs, now and made just for you meals for just $7.50 every day. Take your pick from our best subs, like the Italian BMT, tender turkey breast, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, and more. Pile them high with all of your favorite veggies, made just the way you say, with a 21-ounce drink and a bag of chips. The new Simple 6 menu is value made simple every day. Yeah, you so got it made. Subway, eat fresh.
We'll be with you through new beginnings and sunset endings, through toil and many tears, through the joys and many fears. For all of life's ever-changing moments, trust J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers for all of your insurance needs. J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
When school ends, BTC summerfication begins. That means freedom to switch it up and break a few rules.
Like a flying overseas and when she touch down, she not stop call me. And I nothing for me breed, girl. Me want no feud like a Bob Marley. Me fix them.
Freedom to mix and, of course, mingle. Freedom to go wild and take the fun to a whole new level. Join the BTC Summerfication for exclusive rewards, cool prizes, and more. Okay. BTC, the bigger, better network.
The most important thing I want to say is that this is a Bahamian initiative. All of these things, every app we've discussed here, we designed, created, conceived of here within this team. We have a brilliant software technologist consultant who works with us. She is also Bahamian. And this thought that you have to go overseas or somebody has to come and drop something, we've constructed all of this right here on site in Alive at Holy Cross.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. It's a time of year when people, health experts, and caregivers make work even harder to raise awareness about prostate cancer and to educate those at risk. Here at home, the number of men diagnosed daily is startling.
Even if you're not experiencing any symptoms, if you're over the age of 40, go and get tested anyhow.
Join ZNS TV 13 as we bring you It's Not a Death Sentence, Living with Hope, on Monday, September 17th at 8 p.m.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, Tropical Storm Gordon has moved inland over Louisiana. It's now a tropical depression, but continuing to produce heavy rainfalls as it treks towards the northwest. We anticipate that it will turn more towards the north and then eventually towards the north and east over the inland portion of the Gulf states. And as we look here in the far eastern Atlantic, we have Hurricane Florence. It's now a very powerful Category 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson scale. It's packing winds of 130 miles per hour, moving toward the northwest at about 13 miles per hour. But Florence is expected to move under some hostile atmospheric condition, and that will lead to some weakening over the next couple of days, but still remaining a very strong and powerful storm as it takes aim for the island nation of Bermuda. And then we look at some what we can expect from Florence by the early part of next week, even though we don't expect Florence to move our way, but we'll get some very, very strong sea swell generated by the system as it treks towards the north and west. And those swells will impact the north and central islands of the Bahamas starting the early part of next week. So boaters, you're asked to exercise extreme caution as we go into the new week. And then on the home front, we have this very upper level trough that is generating lots of convectivity over the southeast and central parts of our country. You can see the spinning taking place there in the middle atmosphere. And some of those showers will work its way into the northwest Bahamas later on tonight. So as the night wears on, showers and thunderstorms will be developing. The forecast for tonight calls for partly cloudy conditions with showers developing late. Your low temperature getting down to 76 degrees. And tomorrow, there's going to be be a mix of cloud and sunshine, and temperature getting up to about 89 degrees, with showers once again developing during the morning hours. Some of those showers tomorrow morning could be heavy at times, and then resorting to isolated showers in the afternoon. Extended weather forecast taking us into Thursday and Friday. Showers remain in the forecast, particularly during the morning hours on Thursday. On Friday, they will develop in the afternoon, drying out quite nicely on Saturday, which promises to be pretty nice weather-wise. And as we go into the early part of next week, lots of sunshine in those daytime temperatures, while we're kind of keeping them below the 90-degree mark, as we've been doing all week long. And those nighttime temperatures, not too bad, but the winds have been pretty brisk over the last several days, but those two will fall off come tomorrow, so you would not have that relief from the brisk winds. So we'll be down to about 10 to 15 knots, and then eventually some light and variable winds.
Thanks so much, Basil. Well, before we end, we want to say a very happy birthday to our colleague Cheryl Clare, as well as happy birthday to Wilbur Seymour, especially from Kelsey Johnson. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in, Bahamas. We hope to see you right back here tomorrow. Have a great evening, everyone.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Nation Building. On our program, we examine the political, social, and moral issues in the leadership of the Bahamas. On our program today, we're doing something different. We are alive. And we'll introduce our exciting Alive guest right after this break.
Being awarded